Hello, how you doing? As usual, hope you're doing well. Again, it's been quite a while. I just wasn't feeling Magic last week, so I decided to take kind of the week off, and now I'm back. And while I was looking at the deck list dump on MTG Goldfish, I noticed that somebody went 5-0 with an 8 whack deck, and I just knew I had to play this deck. This is the deck that I started Modern with. This is a deck that I'm sure a lot of people started Modern with because it was such a great budget friendly way to get into the Modern format at that time, and maybe it's still got some legs in 2021. I'm not sure. So, gonna run it through a league, see how it goes. If you want to jump into the games, gonna put timestamps down at the bottom for all of the games. Otherwise, stick around, and I'm gonna talk about the deck a little bit. So, it is a 8 whack deck, and of course, if it's an 8 whack deck, that means it's going to come with 8 whacks. The 8 whacks are in the form of Goblin Bushwhacker and Reckless Bushwhacker. Both of these cards do a similar thing. Goblin Bushwhacker says when Goblin Bushwhacker enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, so if we paid an extra red mana, creatures you control get +1/+0 and haste until the end of turn. In the case of the Reckless Bushwhacker, it has a surge cost, meaning you have to play a spell before Reckless Bushwhacker, and then you can play it for its alternative cost, which is 1 and a red. When it enters the battlefield, if its surge was paid, other creatures you control get +1/+0 and haste. So basically the same. Slight distinction is that the Reckless Bushwhacker is other creatures you control get +1/+0 and haste, and then the Goblin Bushwhacker gets all creatures you control get +1/+0 and haste. Pretty neat. Next, how can we pull this off quickly? Well, one of the ways we can do that is with the Burning Tree Emissary. Burning Tree Emissary is one of the key cards in this deck. It's going to provide a 2/2 body, and it's going to give us additional mana to do something with. So when Burning Tree Emissary enters the battlefield, we are given another red and a green mana to do something with. Now, if you look at this deck list, it's all red. So that one red can be used to put out maybe a Goblin Guide or a Foundry Street Denizen, something like that. Or if we have a Reckless Bushwhacker in hand, we can pay the surge cost with the red and the green and start swinging in for tons of damage. The green has also, I've noticed, been pretty useful when it comes to flooding out, and maybe you have a Sunbaked Canyon or a Fiery Islet on the battlefield. You can use that green source to pay for the sacrifice cost on the Fire Islet and the Sunbaked Canyon. Next, the deck is also playing a ton of cheap creatures that are going to be pretty effective at swinging in. Of course, we're playing Fanatical Firebrands, which is a hasty guy, gets a little bit of reach if we need that at the end. Foundry Street Denizen is going to get bigger whenever a creature enters the battlefield, a red creature, but in this deck it's all red creatures, and so forth. The other cards that I want to mention, cards of note, is, well, Goblin Grenade. Goblin Grenade is a fantastic card. 1 red sorcery, sacrifice a goblin as an additional cost to cast this card, and then Goblin Grenade deals 5 damage to any target. 5 damage is a ton of damage for 1. And then the other super cool card that I'm very happy is in this deck is Devastating Summons. This one comes with a high cost. As an additional cost to cast a spell, sacrifice X lands. But if your opponent is tapped out and you have, let's say, a Bushwhacker or a Reckless Bushwhacker or Goblin Bushwhacker in hand, you can really go all in with this card. Maybe you have something like 3 mountains on the board. You tap down all 3 of your mountains. You pay one of the reds to Devastating Summons, sacrifice all 3 mountains, create 2 3/3 red elemental tokens, and then you can cast out your Reckless Bushwhacker for the surge cost or the Goblin Bushwhacker, and suddenly you're swinging in for, what is it, going to be 10 damage kind of out of nowhere for 3 mana. Very risky card that can backfire. Probably one of the cards that we're going to be taking out of the deck for game 2 and game 3 quite often, especially if we're running into an opponent that is on some kind of counter magic. So anyways, here is the deck. The sideboard's over there. You can take a look at that. Let's jump into some games and see how it goes. All right. Game 1 with 8 whack. I don't know if this is a good idea or not. We'll see. But I'm just attracted to these kind of aggro decks. Something's wrong with me. Oh, I really wish this hand had a Bushwhacker. Wouldn't that be something? For now, I don't think it's good enough to keep. If we knew what the opponent was on, maybe a different story. But This hand not looking very good either, but a little bit better than the other one. Put out the Arid Mesa. We can grab a Sacred Foundry. It doesn't matter. Grab a Fanatical Firebrand and attack for 1. How scary is this, right? All right, let's see what the opponent's on. Scalding Tarn, okay, sure. Well, we miss the very, very important second land drop that was definitely needed for these Burning Trees, but that's what's going to happen. Run out the Foundry Street Denizen, and hopefully, again, next turn, really need a big draw with a land. Boy, it's been a long time since I played an 8-whack deck, I'll tell you that much. Opponent on Jeskai. Cool. So, got to imagine both of my creatures are fairly vulnerable. But that's one of the cards we wanted to see, so let's do what we gotta do. No Remand. Okay, I'm kind of expecting a lightning bolt on the Denizen here. Let's load it up. Why not? Let's keep going with the Loyalist. Can't do anything with that green. As usual, I think that green most of the time is going to be pretty useless in this deck. The Legion Loyalist I didn't mention in the intro, but it has a cool little ability. Battalion. I don't think they printed that one for a while, but if we attack with 3 or more creatures, our creatures are going to get First Strike and Trample. Could be relevant. First Strike and Trample are pretty nasty keywords to be getting. So our opponent didn't do anything, just cycling a Shark Typhoon, which, okay, that's pretty cool. Let's see what their turn 3 is. This deck, if you're playing this deck, you gotta just assume to get blown out. There's no thought process to this deck. You just go all in all the time and just hope for the best. Teferi, not the scariest person, so we still have 6 damage on the board with a Lightning Bolt in hand. Okay, well, I think I probably want to get rid of the Teferi. I don't mind sending him at Teferi, everything else at the face. So Teferi down, and they take some damage. Yeah, whatever. Go Foundry Street Denizen. Really wonder how this deck would have done when Uro was around, because decks were a little bit slower, but maybe Uro was able to gain enough life that just there was no way anything was going to happen. Got to imagine the opponent is on a Cryptic Command right now. It would be great to Bushwhack, but I'm assuming it's a Cryptic, and we have enough damage without the kicker from this, so no point running that into the Cryptic, sure. So, taps everything down. I think I am going to send the Lightning Bolt face right now. Maybe I should have done it in response to the Cryptic, just in case they got a Force of Negation, but that's probably not that worrisome. Yeah. All right, the opponent's up to 5 mana. Let's see what they can do. I don't know if people play Board Wipes main deck these days. I gotta imagine they don't, right? Why would they? So, does the opponent have yet another Cryptic? Passing to their second main. All right. So the no-brain of no-brain decks takes game one. We were on the one land, got lucky, drew a second land on our third turn, and hey, things kind of worked out. So let's look at the sideboard. I don't really think there's much to bring in. The Shrine of Burning Rage might be a consideration to bring in. It tends to be one of those cards that you want to bring in when you're probably in a control-y like matchup. And then the Devastating Summons just seems like an awful idea when your opponent certainly has counter magic. So we'll bring in the 2 shrines, take out the Devastating Summons, try it like that. Wow, look at this hand. You know what? We're keeping it because this is the reason we're playing this deck is to get lucky and to not think, to hope. We gotta lead on the Foundry Street Denizen. And next turn, hope for a land, and then we can go. The opponent, of course, might have mana up. I'm not sure I want to go into it, but hey, what can we do? A lightning bolt for the Denizen? Sure. Cleansing Wildfire on the flagstones. Okay. So a little Jeskai ramp. Pretty lame. How cool would a land be right now? Alright, let's go. Let's go. Oh, oops, sorry. Wasn't thinking. Need 2 red. Dumb. Again, no brain deck. Don't expect the pilot to have any kind of common sense. Alright, second Burning Tree. And then we'll go with the Bushwhacker. Swing in. Ideal idea. Turn to Burning Tree into Reckless Bushwhacker. It's just fantastic. And if we still had this Foundry Street Denizen on the field, it would have been, what, an additional 5 damage? Goblin Guides and Legion Loyalists back. Both creatures, or all 3 creatures, have haste, so even if they have a way of answering our board, maybe we can get in with some more nastiness. An Oust. That's fine. Maybe, Bolt, okay. Maybe 8 Whack's the place to be right now. Opponent with 2 islands up, sure. Both Goblin Guides are going to be coming in. Swing in for 6. And we have a Lightning Bolt for the follow-up turn if they can't answer the board. I mean, they're going to have to spend their mana to answer the board, of course. They find an Aether Gust, sure. They had another Aether Gust. Yeah, I mean, we'll keep the Goblin Guide on top. It's fine, I think. Okay, they're down to 5. We got an we got a Goblin Guide coming up off the top of our deck because we know from the Aether Gust, 5 mana. Sure. But even if just one of these gets in, I think we fire off the Lightning Bolt, try to close out this game as quickly as we can. I hope they don't have a Snapcaster. They're down to 2 cards, though. One of those cards being an Aether Gust. Lightning Helix on the top of their deck. They're certainly going to Helix something. Or not Helix, sorry, Aether Gust something. So, again, we'll keep it on top. Okay. Move to end step. They only got 1 card. Yeah. Sure. Let's try. All right, so apparently 8 whack is pretty decent against Jeskai control. We certainly got lucky with our draws. A couple of lands, not too many lands. Always the thing you're looking for. Let's go to the next one. All right, match 2 with 8 whack. Gonna play first. Got very lucky in our first round. Can't keep this. We're gonna keep it. Why not? Throw away the Goblin Grenade and lead off on one of these denizens, and then hope to find a land and go into Burning Tree Bushwhack. Just playing some honest Magic over here, right? Well, we miss on the land, but we can develop the board, put out a second Foundry, pump up our first friend, and swing in for 2. Okay. Opponent is on Prowess. Finds the Stormwing Entity, which pretty gross for us. But that being said, if we find a land, we can really get in for quite a bit of damage. Only the Reckless Bushwhacker won't trade with the Stormwing Entity. Need that land. Hey, find the land. Everything's going well. So yeah, I guess. Yeah, we'll go with this plan. I was thinking about only going with the Goblin Bushwhacker, but we'll save that for the next turn. Right? So, our denizens get bigger. I think I'm only going to attack with these 3. Hold back the Reckless Bushwhacker. Let's cast this with Surge. The Prowess matchup's going to be pretty nasty for us, because we got a lot of 1 toughness creatures, and I got to imagine Lava Dart is going to be one heck of a good card against us. Gonna take the whole hit of 11. Sure thing. Not exactly in a safe spot with the Stormwing Entity on the battlefield. They can definitely put out a ton of damage, but they're going to be also incentivized to attack, and we know next turn we're at least going to be kicking a Goblin Bushwhacker. It might turn into a Legion Loyalist and a Bushwhacker if we can find another land. That would be... oh, that would be great if we could get the Loyalist out swinging with first strike. They're going to hold back both. Okay. So, don't find it. So I could kick... they got the steam vents open, so probably these Stormwing Entities are going to be 4/4s. Makes me think I don't want to run in the Foundry Denizens. Yeah. So I think what I'm going to do is just put out the Legion Loyalist and the Grim Lavamancer and kind of hope that the opponent isn't able to kill me from 16. Although... maybe it's very likely. I'm already committed to this line, so it's going to happen. If they were tapped out, maybe I would have done it differently, but... so the idea now is to go super wide and then hope next turn we can close out the game if they don't end it on their turn. All right. So they got 5 cards in hand, 3 mana, potentially 4 mana with 2 Stormwing Entities. I don't feel great about this. I feel like I'm going to get rolled over. There's no way they don't have a ton of cards that they can play out, right? But if they just play out a couple of blockers, you know, with this Bushwhacker coming in, Legion Loyalist giving everything trample and first strike. Maybe. I don't know what the opponent's contemplating. I mean, they're probably doing some math. Can they get up to 16? Even getting us to 15 is going to be pretty devastating because the Sunbait Canyon is costing me life every time. Then again, they can't exactly attack in safely because they need the blockers back. Opponent's just taking their time, so I'm just prattling on. I don't know what to say. Okay, opponent finally plays something out after a lot of contemplation. I was thinking while the opponent was deliberating there, instead of playing out the Legion Loyalists and the Grim Lavamancer last turn, if I bushwhacked, would I have had lethal? They would have blocked the two biggest things, and I think I probably would have had... Because these would have been 3/3, all three, so it would have been 7 damage at least. But I kind of assumed that they had something with that open mana. Okay. Okay, so the opponent is going for a risky line, I think, here. Hoping they hit big off of this, light up the stage. They need a land and something. That land's not going to do them anything. So, that's 13 damage. Yeah. They're down to 5, though, now. No mana up. I think we're okay. They can't attack. Alright. Cast that guy with the kicker. Yeah, so last time we would have had 3, 6, 9, 12, plus that damage coming in. They would have blocked here, so we would have had 8 damage going in. But if they did have the Gut Shot, but Gut Shot costs... No, they would have paid with the red, so we wouldn't have quite had it. Maybe it was worth it to go for it last turn, but patience paid off. That's okay. Opponent on a little bit of a slow hand, so that is to our advantage. I wonder about Deflecting Palm in this matchup. They're obviously going to be swinging in quite hard with their Prowess creatures, but I'm not sure if that's the card I want to be bringing in right now. I think Devastating Summonings is fine in this matchup. I'm not sure about the Grim Lavamancers. Where are you? Come up here. So what might I want to bring in? I might want to bring in Path, and I might want to bring in Deflecting Palms. These are useless. The Core Firewalkers, I don't particularly like them in this matchup because of the blue element. Oh, maybe they're okay. I like Deflecting Palm just because it's kind of funny, right? That's where I'm at with that card. I do think I want the 2 paths. Maybe on game 3 when I'm on the play, I might switch those back out, but we'll see. Okay, this hand, yeah, this is like the ideal hand. Look at that. They don't have a turn 1 play. Very nice. So, I think I'm going to lead on the Denizen. They have an opt. Sure. Okay. Sure. Let's play to the board. And then we have Lightning Bolt to take out any blocker that they might put out next turn. Alright, attack in for, what, 9? The Dragon's Claw obviously kind of sucks, but I don't think it's really worth it to bring in the Smash Smithereens just for the Dragon's Claw. Kind of feel like I gotta just fight through it. It's going to attack for 5. Imagine they have a lightning bolt. Probably could have, because I think I'm going to play out this Foundry Street Denizen in main phase 2. Maybe I should have played it out main phase 1, just get a trigger with that guy. We'll see if 1 damage comes back to bite me later. Okay. Oh yeah, Kozilek's Return is a good card, isn't it? I totally forgot that that's something that they play. Noted. Yeah. Kozilek's Return doesn't kill any of the prowess creatures. Youch. Yeah, sure. Play out the Burning Tree, play out the Goblin Guide and the Legion Loyalist. And if they have the second Kozilek's Return, well, pretty sad. Pretty nice for the opponent to find 2 of their sideboard cards. Oh, and a Lightning Bolt. Hey-oh. Again, I don't think this is the kind of deck that can play around Kozilek's Return. You just gotta hope they don't have it, I think, for the most part. Definitely one of the big benefits of this deck for a new player to Modern, because you don't really have to... You're not encouraged to think too much about your opponent's cards with this deck. Oof, 2 Lightning Bolts too is pretty gross. So I don't think there's any way to get over the life gain from this Dragon's Claw at this time. Is it worth it to bring in the Smash to Smithereens? I don't know. I feel like it's more for like a Chalice of the Void. The opponent's just gain so much life from just their spells alone. Oof. Alright. Out of curiosity, what's here? Yeah. Oh, wait. Go to game 3. So we're on the play, which means we can be a little aggressive. Maybe these deflecting palms are not going to... Knowing that they're going so defensively now, it might not be a good idea to have them in. Maybe the smashes are going to be pivotal. I'm going to draw both of them. They're not going to find their Dragon Claw. Oof, garbage. Mulligan that. Well, 2 lands, couple of creatures, couple of whacks. Oh, wait. Keep it. No. I think they remove our creatures a little bit too reliably to put out rely on the Goblin Grenade. Bushwhacker obviously not as effective as Burning Tree plus the other Bushwhacker, but it should be fine. Opponent also mulliganing down to 6. They keep 6. Alright, Goblin Guide, go for it. Find the Soulscar Mage, that's fine. Play out the Soulscar Mage. Could whack and try to get in for a bit, or I could just remove the Soulscar Mage. Probably best to remove the Soulscar Mage. Just get in with the Goblin Guide. I feel like this matchup is probably another blocker. Probably one of the harder matchups for this deck because they're kind of doing what we're doing, but better. I think maybe a little bit slower than we are, but they have better tools to deal with things. Oh. Okay. I kind of thought that they put this in untapped so they could attack in with the Monastery Swift Spear and then go with the light up the stage, but they decided not to attack. Foundry Street Denizen. Alright. I'm going to path the Monastery Swift Spear and then play out the Denizen, second main, and just try to develop a little bit for some kicked Bushwhackers. I don't like giving them extra mana, but that's what's going to happen. So there's the Stormwing. Hopefully they don't have a way to easily enable the Stormwing, but got to imagine they have at least a Lightning Bolt or a Lava Dart. They have something because they're using the Opt. They could have saved the Opt for the Stormwing next turn, but they must have something else to be able to get it out. Yeah. Okay, opponent gets to scry 2 with the Stormwing. One on the top, one on the bottom. Sure. And they get in. That's awkward because of the 2 red requirement for this card. I think we're kaputs. Send in the Lone Goblin Guide. Find another Soulscar Mage, so they're going to have plenty of creatures. All right. Oh, yeah, they have the Lava Dart. Well, that was, yeah. I wasn't watching the graveyard, and that was just stupid. Dumb. No brain deck, no brain play. And they have the light up the stage into the mutagenic. Yeah, so next turn, dead. That doesn't help us. Okie doke. Well, of course that last attack was awful, but I think that the writing was on the wall for that one. We were not managing a win against that deck. Anyways, try it again. Match 3. All right, match 3, 8 whack. Gotta get rid of these cobwebs again. You stop playing for a week and then come back and it just doesn't feel right. Kind of head's not quite in the game yet. All right. That could be pretty nasty for us because we can't deal with that Arbor Elf. If they're able to generate extra mana this turn, could really suck. We give them a Temple Garden from our very, very generous Goblin Guide. Good job, buddy. But we got a couple of whacks. Definitely turn 3 is going to be Loyalist, Reckless Bushwhacker. Turn 2, I'm debating if I want to just go out with a Legion Loyalist or if I want to kick a Bushwhacker. We'll see what they do. We'll see what we draw. Lots of things can happen between then and the next turn. Start like this, the opponent's probably going to assume that we're on just traditional burn. They're going to take an extra 2 damage. Okay. Yeah, so they're making 4 mana this turn in addition to what they already made. A Collected Company. Nothing like a turn 2 Collected Company. Only hit a Skyclave, though. Still, Skyclave pretty great hit. That's not the best. Could establish the board, put out the Legion Loyalist and the Bushwhacker without kick. Maybe I should kind of feel like just kicking it and attacking in. If he wants to block with the Skyclave, that's okay. We get a 1/1 back for that exchange, or we get in 2 damage and put a creature on the board. Alright. I do like that idea, though, of Arbor Elf into Utopia Sprawl into Collected Company. That's pretty badass. But how good is that going to be? Of course, they have the Heliod. Do they also have... Okay. Well, we're going to concede that one because they have the Heliod Spike Feeder combo on turn 3. Modern. Super great. Okay. What do we do about that? Just bring in Path, I guess. Path doesn't even do anything. Like, it doesn't stop Heliod, and it doesn't... They can still gain infinite life through the Spike Feeder Heliod. Kind of crappy. Yeah, maybe I don't even want it in. Maybe I just have to erase them. Yeah, and they combo. We're not exactly a deck that's going to fight against the Heliod combo, right? Not a great hand. Hope to draw a Bushwhacker, I guess, off the top. Do you like the opponent's deck? I'm a fan of the Heliod deck. I'm just not a fan of clicking too much. I've been thinking about trying it out for a video, but I can't bring myself to do it. Can't bring myself to do much of anything. So they have the Arbor Elf again, and it's probably best just to get rid of it with the Lightning Bolt. So we'll play with the Burning Tree Emissary, get the trigger on the Foundry Street Denizen, and then get rid of that card. Hopefully that slows them down quite a bit. I haven't paid attention to the Heliod combo decks recently. I didn't know that they were playing Arbor Elf and Utopia Sprawl, but yeah, why not? This is not what you want to see. Attacking with both if they want to trade with the Noble. It's fine. Or not trade, chump with the Noble. And we're finding our lands, but we're also not finding the lands that can redraw. It's a little brutal. They might just jam a Heliod here. Yeah. I don't know if there's a way we can even win this matchup. And certainly not going to win with draws like this. All right. I should have played out the Foundry Street, but I think I'm a little defeated. The last 2 matchups have been against very, very, very real decks that are not fun for us. They have a Path. They don't even need the Path. All right. And I got to imagine this is where it ends. Maybe not. Okay. Mom's coming in for 1. Okay. I mean, that kind of sucks, actually. Any kind of life that they're able to gain is going to be awful. Hey, Devastating Summons is pretty sweet. Unfortunately, it's not quite good enough. You know what? I think I might actually just go for it. Yeah, let's just go for it. How many lands do I want to go with? I could go with all 5, make 2 5/5s. I don't know if I want to go that hot. I do have a land. Next turn, I want to Goblin Grenade something. Yeah, 5/5s. Let's go with 5/5s. Just insane. Nice. So we got a board, and if they can't find a Spike Feeder or Walking Ballista for next turn, I don't know. I don't know what they can do. Plains, not a great start for them. Coco? Not a Coco. Not a Coco. Skyclave Apparition, not great against elementals. Oh, come on. Alright, well, Heliod deck is, yeah, it is what it is. Alright, match 4, excuse me. Tried my best against Heliod. Yeah. Always leaves a bad taste in your mouth. I don't like this hand at all. But it's like so borderline, I think. A couple of Bushwhackers. 2 Goblin Grenades is never great. Let's throw it away. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I deserve. Okay, I'm gonna keep this one. Alright, let's see if the Goblin Guide tells us what our opponent is playing. Godless Shrine. Not exactly, but that's definitely not a land that I'd like to see. I'm actually not even really sure what the good matchups for this Goblin 8-whack deck is. Being that we have so many X1s, certainly the Prowess matchups are just awful. Heliod, like, combo is not going to be a good thing. We just need something that's a little bit slow. I think even Titan, though, might be too fast. If this is going to be something that's full of fatal pushes, Thoughtseize. Yeah. Takes the beast. Again, awkward. Just not hitting the right creatures with that. Oh well. Get in for 5. And then next turn, we're going to draw the Reckless Bushwhacker, right? That's exactly what's going to happen. It's the Rack. Oh. We're probably not very good against the Rack because we tend to spew out our hand. But if we can get some creatures onto the battlefield, it could be quite annoying for them to deal with. A Smallpox here would be pretty devastating. Smallpox it is. Great. Well, I was very fortunate in that first game. first match. Yeah. It is 8 whack. What can you expect really from the deck? Don't give him a land. Betrayer. He gave the opponent 2 cards. Oh my gosh, and this card's gonna be... It just stonewalls my whole game plan. There's the Affliction. Oh, I shouldn't have. I should have end step. So, we're taking tons of damage now per turn, and... Yeah, I don't know. Lightning Bolt is not the worst card. You know what would have been real nice there? A Goblin Grenade. Alright. We'll hold the Lightning Bolt, force them to play some kind of discard on us, and hope to get lucky. This deck is probably all about the hope to get lucky mentality. They also have a Mutavault there for extra blockage. We're on a 2-turn clock. Actually, we get 1 draw. Not even 2 turns. Yep. So I think we're just dead. They can get this out of our hand, I'm sure. No, we're dead no matter what, because this is going to be 3, and this is going to be 2. Yeah. So, concede. Try again. I'm not going to have any lands to sacrifice for Devastating Summons, so I think probably not the best card to have in the deck. The Smash to Smithereens might come in. I don't know if I want all 4, though. Just to be able to kill some racks. Yeah, try it like that. Yeah, okay. So, I'm going to keep this hand simply because having enough lands is probably going to be a good thing. If they are smallpoxing again, I don't want to run into that. And next turn I can go out with Foundry Street Denizen. If I draw action, like another 1-drop, I can save that for the Reckless Bushwhacker on the following turn. So, hopefully the cards line up a little bit better than they have been the last couple games. It's very nice. Kaldheim Swamp. Sure. Well, that is a card that activates the Surge. However, I don't feel like I'm going to make it to my next turn with 3 cards in my hand. I think that's a very optimistic thing to hope for. Maybe I should have taken out some of the Reckless Bushwhackers because it does require to have another card to play with it, and I just feel like in this matchup that's probably not going to be the case a lot of the time. I'm going to pitch that, hoping to draw land. Okay, land, and we are going well. Not a land. But I think it's okay to go out with the Legion Loyalist, pump up the Denizens. And attack in for 5. Fatal Push, possibly coming from the opponent. Yeah. Takes out one of the Denizens. Sorry, little guy. And the opponent's at a very healthy 15. Not the life total I'd like them to be at. Liliana here would be pretty appropriate for the way things have been going. Started off so well, and then yeah. And this, the Rack is such a cool deck. I used to play against a guy that was only playing the Rack. That was his deck, and that's the only thing he had on him. And he was super fun to play against all the time. And I really liked the deck, the Rack deck. But I'd never played it because I didn't have Liliana's. Speaking of which. But I'm not sure how good the deck actually is. Now, against what we're doing, I think it lines up pretty dang well. Why? Why did it have to be a Liliana? Chukabog, okay. I think I have to kill her. Okay. But yeah, I don't see 8 whack very much anymore. Maybe for good reason. It's a super cool deck. Maybe it's a deck I should try learning a little bit. I do like trying new stuff. Oh, do they? Yeah, good on ya, opponent. Good on ya. Well, tapped incorrectly. That's about the best I could have hoped for. Now I'm wondering if I should just go all face. She's going to make me discard, but what do I care about that? So I could just send 9 damage to face. Lightning Bolt's lethal. Sure. Maybe we get lucky. Maybe I get lucky. It's gonna be if this actually becomes a video, I think that's probably the name of the YouTube video. Maybe I get lucky. Well, that sucks. I can get in with the Foundry Street Denizen, but yeah, Ensnaring Bridge. Of course they're gonna be playing Ensnaring Bridge. Let's dig. Okay. Yep. You know, it's been. I feel like I haven't seen this card in months. And here we are. Alright, so now it's got to be direct damage somehow. Yeah, not somehow. We know how. We have 4 Goblin Grenades still in the deck, and should be Lightning Bolts. Grim Lavamancer also gets me there, but it's a little slower. Alright. Top deck time. Yes, sir, Mr. Rack. Oh, also the sideboard card that I brought in. That would also do it. Gonna keep that in hand. Reduce. I mean, it doesn't. Actually, I should play it out. It doesn't matter. They're gonna plus. Drawing a card, helping us out. Potentially. Smallpox? Mind Wrench. Okay. Okay. Situation hasn't changed. Oh, we're gonna redraw. 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 Okay. Not quite another redraw. Oh, why do I play this game? Why do I play Magic? They found another Lily. Sure. That's why I play Magic. Yeah, it's gotta be the rack, right? Alright. Game 3. I probably want the other two. I completely forgot that Ensnaring Bridge is in fact a card, and definitely want that in. And I think the Bushwhackers can go out. I don't... They're super, super good, but in this particular matchup, I don't think it's going to be valuable to keep in the deck. Getting a little hungry. 7 o'clock. Oh. This was supposed to be a fast league. I kind of went into it with the assumption that the games would just, you win or you lose right out of the gate. But the opponents have been a little slow, and some of the games have dragged on more than I would have expected them to. Alright, so 3 lands is always good. I don't like the Goblin Grenade, but I think it's okay to keep it with this these aggressive creatures. They take 2. Hopefully it's just like a Raven's Chime. I'm not sure if it's Chime or Crime. Thoughtseize. Okay. Probably... What do they take? The Goblin Guide? The Goblin Grenade. Okay. Oh, man. Don't want any more lands, please. Okay, Mr. Goblin Guide, what are you revealing? If they have a turn 2 Smallpox, then... I don't know. I don't know if it's even possible to come back through that. Goblin Guide, very generous. Gives them a Bloodstained Mire, of course. But they are already down to 14. Thanks to the Thoughtseize and the Shrine. I think I'm gonna try the rack deck out. I really am very curious if it is actually viable these days. I think I have Liliana's online. Wrench Mind. Yep. I think I need my threats. probably just pitch the Arid Mesa. Okay. Yeah, let's just get him out on the field. Start attacking for 5. Is this when it deals damage? Yeah. Again, very generous Goblin Guide, giving the opponent a silent clearing. Thanks, bud. Guess we'll return the mountain, because I think the Fiery Islet's a little bit more valuable. Just in case I end up having to discard both of these. Now, if the opponent doesn't have anything to make me discard, Mountain into Bushwhacker next turn would be, you know, pretty amazing. But I got to assume that it's not okay. Well, I wonder if they're just going to block with the Mutavault. In which case, the Legion Loyalist is giving everything trample and first strike. Alright. If that's their only play, they don't have a Fatal Push. It's bad for them. And they should have Fatal Pushed the Loyalist beforehand. It's too late. Yeah, they did have the push, so they definitely made a pretty big mistake with that one. They're going to go down to 1. Oh boy. And, okay. They do have a Smallpox in hand, which would be fine for them to play right now. I think if they play Smallpox, we win. Liliana, we win. Bontu's Last Reckoning, we lose. That was very fast. Bontu's Last Reckoning. But the Fanatical Firebrand comes in to save the day. And I'm just going to do the ability and ping for 1. All right. Mood has been lifted a little bit. That was very, very cool. Very, very lucky for us. Let's try to win the match 5 and finish with a 3-2. We'll go into that. All right, match 5. Just got lucky against an 8-rack player. I think it might have gone a little bit differently if they had Fatal Pushed pre-combat in that last little game there. But hey, things worked out. This is a hand. Opponent is keeping 7. We're keeping 7. Again, keeping with the theme of this video, maybe I get lucky. Eldrazi Temple is not really... not a good start to that phrase, maybe I get lucky. We're going to just get dumped on by Eldrazi Tron now. This is real great. Okay. What do I do? What is this? Whatever. Whatever. Such horseshit. Maybe I want Smash the Smithereens and Path to Exile. Devastating Summons can probably... I'm not sure. Maybe that's worth keeping in. Something like that. 100% need to Smash the Smithereens because the deck is, I mean, it's 50% 1-drops. This is our punishment for being a little bit happier after that last game. Only one land, but Smash the Smithereens is so valuable, I think I have to keep it. There you go with the Denizen again. Really need a land off the top here, of course. We always... maybe that should be the actual title. I just need a land. Still just need a land. But I do get to attack in for 4. Probably. How appropriate for the Goblin Guide to reveal a Blast Zone. Hey. We'll kill it on their end step. No need to be hasty about that. They got no play. Maybe they were leading hard on this Chalice of the Void. Kaboom. Well, I'm potential lethal now if these two guys get in. Eldrazi Temple. What do you got, opponent? Have nothing. That's amazing. Go, Foundry Street Denizen. I think they have a card that can counter a sorcery spell. That would be real bad. I can't remember the name of that card, but I do believe Eldrazi Tron plays it. No. Dismember. But why? Oh, they think we have, or they think maybe we're on another Goblin Grenade. Cool. I like that. All right. Well, it's going to go right down to it. Let's hope. Wonder if I should bring in the Deflecting Palms. Opponent mulliganing down to 6. We got the Wombo. It'd be real nice to get a 1-drop off the top. Urz is mine. That's a 1-drop. Well, 1 CMC card. Can't drop it on the battlefield though. Oh no. Your Chalice of the Void does nothing here. Go team. You're my only hope. Alright, so we no longer have playables until we draw a... what are they called? Smashing. Gotta get rid of this. What a stupid card. If anybody's wondering why things are going so poorly, well, this is the reason. Stupid card that I do enjoy playing occasionally. A Walking Ballista, sure. So we're only going to get 2 damage in here because they can block and ping. Seems like a little bit of a desperate play, though. Eldrazi Temple. So that means Smasher mana. Can't believe 3 games in a row they find the Chalice of the Void. Come on. That's not fun. Okay, Karn, the Great Creator, which is equally not fun. Got to imagine, is it going to be an Ensnaring Bridge? Or... I wonder if they have something that can regenerate the Chalice. Ensnaring Bridge, okay. Not really good enough. Damn. So the smash is great, but it's not... We don't have a goblin for the Goblin Grenade. Make me wonder if I should... Well, we'll see what they end up doing. If they just put out the Ensnaring Bridge and nothing else, then I can blow up the Ensnaring Bridge with the Smash. Matter Reshaper's annoying. Okay. What do I do? I think I gotta hit the Ensnaring Bridge and hope to draw like a Bushwhacker or something else that can give haste, right? But, so, I mean, it's a big gamble. Do I smash the Chalice, do 3 damage to their face, hope to draw a Goblin, or do I hope to draw... I guess it's better to hit the Chalice of the Void, because if I draw the Bushwhacker, it's the Goblin Grenade gets him anyways. Yeah, I think it's gotta be the Chalice because I have the Goblin Grenade. Okay. No, what am I? No, right. Okay. Okay. Goblin Grenade. Pretty cool card. 3-2. Let me finish it. Let's go open the poor man's chest. We got 1 chest. Boom. What the hell's this? And Kahira. Sure. Okay. Well, got lucky at the end. 8 whack can obviously beat some things, but it's just all about luck with this deck. You're just going as quickly as you can, not thinking too much. At the end there, we did have a little bit of thinking to do, and maybe if I thought a little bit better, I could have won some of those other games. But it's fun. It's silly. I think it's a great deck to pick up, and I think it's like 130 online, and most of that cost is coming from the Fiery Islet and the Sunbaked Canyon, which you could probably cut. You can definitely make a mono red deck of this. I don't think I have one in there, but you could just go mono red. You don't need the white. This deck extremely budget friendly, and hey, it can do some kind of fun stuff. Anyways, we've made it to the end of the video. Thanks a lot for watching all the way through. Let me know what you think about the deck in the comments below, and tell me what kind of misplays I made. I got one comment the other day, which I'm going to make a video about, which was some great advice from one person about the Zombies deck. I love hearing about what lines I should have taken or what I should have done or what I didn't realize, because a lot of the time I'm not paying that much attention. Anyways, take care for now. Have a great day. Time for some dinner for me. Bye bye.